Yeah. So your camera is very pop.
Yes.
It's a pop camera. And I like it. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know why. But I wanted to say, what I realized with the text and also with the topic that I chose, or that I said I would do about like the impressions of a big city and what associations come with it. I just realized that it's easy to say a subject like this, but like practically to go more specific into what these associations, for example, could be, and then to link it to dance, that I feel like this would be the hard part of the whole thing. You know what I mean? That just to name a topic, like the first step, that this is doable, but then like the what comes with it kind of yeah, feels like a lot.
and did you make somehow a little list of moments, different moments?
No, I didn't.
I'm not
No,
sure if we talk about it.
I wrote down that I should search like one sentence of the text for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I no, I remember that we talked the moments list. But yeah, I'm sorry, I was like, yeah, I was somewhere else.
Okay, so just to move on, and I ask both of you.
Yeah.
Do you want to add or to suggest anything else about the use of a text? Something that we did not talk about it, or it was not clear enough. So can you have a picture about my proposal of how to start working with it?
Yeah, I think what I really took with me was that, like, first of all, the question of like how necessary is the text to say something, because either way, I feel the text can also be then a subtext that what the audience thinks, for example, if they see it, or like what I tell my performer what the person is occupied with. So I feel like there's always text involved, even if it's maybe not spoken. But yeah, I think what the text gave for me was like already an imagination of something, or like atmosphere, something that I can take from one text, which I could abstract later. Yeah.
Today we are going to close somehow this part of the program, talking about the audience. But to talk about the audience means to talk about the meaning and how to express this meaning. It was just the first part of a dramaturgical process, but then now one step further might be the complication, let's say, the issues that how this meaning could be read by a viewer.
Mm.
So in the case of the text, if you consider the text as an object, for example, because you think when you think about an object, it's about using it. So when you think about a text, I like this point of view of that you think about it as how using it, and escape a little bit of how saying it, because it's when we are dealing with a text, this is the, this is the temptation, also how to say the text, or what the text is saying. And I like more how to use it. So then maybe to push a little bit the text into the world of objects. So if you consider the text as an object, then they share with objects same big problem. What do you think is the problem of an object on the stage?
Maybe that it's quite like that everyone has associations with it, like, and it's super direct. Like, for example, if it's a lamp, I know what I use a lamp for. So then and also considering what kind of lamp, I know where it would stand in my home, or like, so like it gives information like so concrete. That's what I would say.
Ai, what's your opinion?
For me, it's I think text is, for example, if it's an item, like it's an object, like an item on the stage, it can be something like, it can be like a symbol. Like you don't like, but the symbol is not, I tell you what does it mean as a symbol. For example, apple, like it's very obvious, like it's from the Bible, right? If an apple is like 4, or apple which was like 1 bite. So it's something like have multiple meanings, but if it's a text, it's like the text already has something like you want to tell, like with the meaning. So if this meaning, I was thinking like if you separate this text, it's not, if it's not object, it's a text you want to express. You want to express something, you want to explain something, or you want to like combine with the things you want to express, like you want to tell the audience. So it's already something like inside of the text. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's more precise.
Can you imagine to play football with a word instead of a ball? No.
No.
Well, I mean, it's possible. Or maybe you can visualize it better if I say volleyball. So imagine 2 teams in a volleyball match. Then the ball I'm throwing to the team I'm playing with is the name of one of the participants, of one of the members of the team. Then Peter or Luisa can become the ball, and my movement with the ball, and then he or she will receive it as well and send it back. Can you imagine this? Can you visualize this?
Yes, I think what I didn't understand now, that how this is connected to the words. So now
the words have 2 very big approaches. So I was right saying what you said. So this is the, let's say, I would say the traditional approach. No? So when you say something, then even a word or a short sentence or a very complicated sentence, and you are using words, putting one after the other in order to say something. But then this approach might be the one for a dramaturgia for text-based theater, let's say, so more connected with text-based theater. In text-based theater, one of the first moments of dramaturgia is a very detailed and strong and sometimes a little bit thick analysis of the text itself, the text that all the characters say. So to move into our dramaturgic conception, the one we've been talking these days, then it's when I move into the other approach, which is come close to the text as not what the text is saying, but what's doing, or what can you do with it, the physicality, the point of taking different levels of meaning and senses. So that's exactly how an object works. Because one object on the stage has mainly 4 different approaches. 2 of them are kind of traditional, because one is to use the object like it is. So imagine I have a knife, so then I use it as a knife, or to use the object as if it were another object. Like, for example, to use a knife like if it was a pen. So then I'm writing a letter with a knife. Then the knife becomes a pen. But then the other 2 are we can say, some people say using different words, but the words I like is the symbolic and the metaphoric. So the difference is that the symbolical object is the one that one community or one group of people, more or less big, agrees that it has a meaning. And for all this community, this object, when they see this object, it's always the same meaning for all of them. For example, a flag. A flag is an object that one community decides that for them it means their country, their motherhood. An apple, besides this wonderful Western short story, is not a symbolical. It is not a symbolical object, because other cultures, like for example an African culture, wouldn't share these, and they have and when we say Africa, we should say where in Africa, because we always are talking about Africa like if it was one place, but Africa is 1 million places. You only need to see the traditional short stories from the north, from the south, from Mali, from Ivory Coast, whatever. So then there is the apple is a kind of, there are different stories about what is an apple. So then the apple becomes a metaphorical object. Metaphorical then means that is an object multi-meaning, or the most is closer to multi-meaning. Something that has 1 million meanings is something that it has none. So it doesn't exist, only it's a theoretical thing. So an object with 0 meaning, in reality, is not possible. Then the artist, in this case the performer, chooses the object and uses it with a very concrete purpose in order to make their dramaturgy work. For example, I will ask you a very simple game. I will say one word, and without the thinking at all. So just tell the object that comes to your mind when I say this word. Okay. So without thinking at all. So love.
Partner. Oh,
I,
Food.
food. You are from my team. Well, first of all, let's Malika, let's check a little bit. Partner is an object.
No, of course not.
Well, I can ask you in a different way. A human being, a person, or a body can be an object.
Mm. That's true. My first no would be because not in a, yeah, it can be, but only if someone it objectifies it. In itself, I wouldn't say it's an object, but yeah.
Exactly. So one partner, if it's in your dramaturgia and then you do the right things to make him or her become an object, then they will become an object. That's the the starting point of the post-human body theory and blah blah blah. So meaning that the performer loses in post-dramatic theater, loses completely her or him identity as an individual and becomes a mass of muscles, hair, liquids, whatever. No? But I will ask you, because this is jumping into a very, very complicated landscape, to tell me an object.
Yes.
No.
Bed.
Bed, exactly. For example, bed is an object. Food is an object.
Mhm.
Hey, don't put this face. Don't put this face. So yes or no?
Yeah. What does it mean? It's an object. It's something I can popped into my mind. It's addiction.
Yeah, no, I mean, I am playing a little bit with you. Yes, it's an object, but what's the point of? So, for example, when I say love and food comes into your mind, what is it? A big dish of fish, meat, fruits, maybe an apple, maybe I don't know, a soup, pasta.
Probably ice cream.
I knew.
If it has to be
I know.
something.
Don't ask me why, but I knew that you would say ice cream. Okay, that's we can work with that. So the question is, let's imagine. Well, let me ask the mirror of this. I will tell you another word, and now please don't think about it. Just the object that comes visually to your mind. Okay. So hate.
Again?
Hate.
Hate. A gun.
Hey. Boy. Sorry, I don't have on my mind. I have to think.
No. Don't think.
It's empathy for me. I don't have this. I have nothing. White.
Wine.
White. It's just white.
White.
No.
Wine is interesting.
Not wine.
Wine it might be interesting.
White.
White wine. Venga. Vino blanco. Okay, so now let's say that you are preparing a piece or an improvisation that you want to talk about love, and Malika will use a bed, and I will use an ice cream to talk about love. No, this is then. What's the we need to do? We have two tasks here. One is how we will deal with that object that help us as a performers to jump into the love world. And two, how we'll make that the audience understands that through this object, we are talking about love. And this is not easy at all. Even that, you know, for example, there are objects that we could say more obvious than others at first sight. For example, hate gun. We can say that with a gun, maybe we can reach this target of making it communicating hate better than with white wine. But the challenge here is that using a glass of white wine, you can organize an intro or a short piece and makes people clear that you are talking about hate. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what would you do? More or less.
I think it's something like, for example, it's like when you drink, there are two emotions for me. Like either when you are happy or you are not happy.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get drunk, either like you kind of like really like this, like happy.
This is why it's a big, very sure business to sell wine, because you will buy it when you are sad and you will buy it when you are happy.
So it's also when you like something like you want to express this hatred, like you need some, for example, for me, I need this tool. Like if I got drunk, I can express myself better, like this kind of emotionally. And it's also, for example, it's also cause troubles. Like people, it's also can connect it. If you, for example, imagine these soldiers, they drink, they got drunk, and they kind of like throw those emotions out. They became something like hate, you know. So I don't know. It's also can be in a love situation, the upside. So it's like combined. It can be love, it can be hate.
A gun, Malika, can be love.
Sorry, what?
A gun can be love.
No. I mean, I don't know, I could have a scene where a person is drunk, for example, and acts if the gun is his or her lover and talks to the gun, but then it would be the subject of love, but it would not give the the sensation of love. Then there is another topic behind it, which wouldn't be love. Like for me, gun and love like cannot coexist.
And if I ask you as an exercise to build a piece, would you survive? Maybe.
If I would survive?
Yeah, if you would succeed somehow, if you could somehow, let's say, okay, let's try to imagine that I will use a gun to express love.
I mean,
It's a question, huh? So
Yeah. If you have an idea, I would be interested because for me there is no.
and then, okay. And an ice cream can be hate.
Ice cream, no. Wine can be.
No,
I think, yeah, ice cream, something like first the taste is sweet and also it's kind of like melting, you know. So it's very gentle thing. So it's like, and it heals people. Like it heals, it makes you feel happy.
but can you kill somebody with an ice cream?
I have to I have to put something inside. Like put something inside and then give this ice cream to someone. It can be if it's
So-
it works like this.
Yeah. So the point then, the next step is, what would you do? So what is the best strategy if you are going to use an object that is going? So I will put it in I will make the question in a different way. So we can accept that there are objects better than others to express something. For example, a gun or a knife might be good for express hate, and a bed, an ice cream, I don't know, but I mean, I don't know if it's the one that could help us to express love, but anyway. And other objects, like, it's going to be really hard to explain the concept. For example, if I want to express love with a tomato, for example, if I choose a tomato, and then my object in this short performance, the subject is talking about love, is going to be a tomato. Then in this case, what do you have to help the tomato becomes for the audience close to the idea of love?
You kiss the tomato?
What did you say?
Very, very
You
sweet.
kiss the tomato.
So, but then when you are kissing the tomato, what you are doing? This is movement, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like I just did the performance with the orange.
An orange.
It's with, yeah, it's a duet, but my partner needs to apply, so I make it as a solo in the end. So I use the orange.
If it's a duet, it's going to be easier.
No.
With a bed, for example. But you have the other resource. So you have music, you have text, you have movement, you have even lighting, and so I am saying this because, and we started this conversation connecting the text with the object, so meaning that in a intelligent or more than intelligent, in a useful dramaturgia, there is no maybe it's not about one of the resources, the protagonist, meaning that, for example, I'm going to do a piece based on a text, or I'm going to do a piece based on movement, or I'm going to do a piece based on of an object. It's about how we combine resources, and everything is useful to our purpose, which is communicate something. So that when you will have to take the decision, to make the decision of if you need a text, and now with an object, it's exactly the same question. Do you need an object? And the answer is yes. Or do you need music? And the answer is yes. Then you need to start having a very strong or very good reasons to use text, to use music, or to use an object or whatever. Because Well, let's continue this conversation from your pictures, because we are going to see a lot of things from your pictures. But this is the big pro and contra, advantage and disadvantage of our work. And the dramaturgia somehow is always dealing with that, which is we are building something because we want to communicate something. And then the question is, did they get it or not? Or did they get a different thing, maybe? And so this is the other very strong column or basement of the dramaturgy. So again, when you are thinking about text is not necessarily the research number one. So the big one, the most important one. Wow! So we are going to, if we are going to use text in our piece, then it's not dance anymore, it's theater or something like this. So fighting against these cliches or these prejudices, and then text is another resource that we can or we cannot use if it helps to our purpose. And an object, the same. You know. Do you have experience using objects?
Yeah, yes, not in the piece that I choreographed a bit, but like when I performed in other pieces. And one, for example, was about breathing, about breath, and we had lungs made out of plastic. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Like real, I mean, realistic.
Yeah, like the shape of a lung. But in this performance, we had also, I don't know, like tennis balls and what else? I think that was it. It was super random from my experience, like from how I perceived the whole performance. But yeah, the performance was called Another Breath, and it was about like, yeah, like to set, yeah, about, how can I say? Yeah, about different like breathing exercises that we would do to each other. And yeah, to like have the body in different activation modes where you would also breathe differently, like hyper breathing or like more slowed down, stuff like this. Yeah. Yeah.
And was it a different feeling as a dancer when you were using objects?
Yeah, because it was a performance, like we were not dancing really, so it was more like just performing. And it was interesting, just also the questions of where are the objects, how do you take it, what do you do with them? Like it became like they were stationed on stage, and then towards the ending we would go there one by one and we would take one object, and then we would continue and breathe, for example, against the lungs, and also hold them next to our body. But then there was also the question for the choreographer, like where do we put them after? Because then you also create with an object a different scenery on stage. And yeah, stuff like this.
What is true is, I mean, this is always, to use an object is always 1 million problems, technical and practical problems. That's for sure. But that's when when you choose to use an object, let's say you should invest as much as time as possible in experiencing it, playing with it. It depends on if it's a kind of organic object. For example, I was working with a dancer in Budapest just before the pandemic, and we were working with watermelon, and it was a nightmare from the practical point of view, because we had to buy watermelon every 2 or 3 days because they got very soft and smelly and whatever. Then they are very heavy, so the supermarket was not that close to the rehearsal place. I mean, I don't know. 1 million technical and practical problems to use. Besides that, if you make a piece with watermelon and you want that piece lives and travel and has a kind of long life, what happens when there is no season for watermelons?
Yeah.
So then you cannot buy them, or you go to a country that they don't know what is a watermelon.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
As well. So then, so when you choose an object, you need to think about those practical problems, because sometimes you say, oh yeah, it's going to be very cool, 3, 4, 5 watermelons here. But then when you start preparing the piece, you face the reality, and then there is a big problem. And do you have any experience with objects?
Yes, but I used a chair actually. But to me, it's like I don't play with the object usually. So I just put it as the object for the scene on the stage.
So a stage, a chair, that was a chair.
So yeah, it was like also like I picked the round one instead of the one with the back. So it's kind of like the round one with color also, because it's kind of like an improv, like half improv solo I did. So I put a chair in the front, but in the right side or left side, whatever is in front. And I was doing the improv in the center. We have a spotlight, so it's kind of like it's also like I have text from the music, and also music with the text. It's like a movie thing. So I put it there as, for example, because I had this image on my mind. I was like, if I was just only the solo on the stage, only one space in this space. But if I put something else on the stage, there's the other space, like which creates this from this object only. Only one thing you put there, and it created the other space.
Yeah, from this point of view, we can consider objects like the ethnographical object means that belongs more to the space than to our body, let's say, and then the organical object, which is like an extension of our body. So then you include you give some life to the object with your movement and your behavior, your physical behavior.
I have this one. I mentioned the orange. So it's in the beginning it was a ball. So I was like trying to play with this kind of falling. So this is kind of like delaying, right? If you throw something, instead you go all together this movement too, if it's a duet. So if it's like you use this four, it's kind of like create a delay like this instead of you go together. So then later, and we kind of use this one to travel, because if you have this object, you can follow the weight either this way, vertical way, or horizontal way. So it's kind of like help you to travel the space also. And it's also because of the color. So yeah, just a simple one in the easy, not something like very Because I saw my friend did a performance with a like huge clothes, also a solo. It's kind of, he was like hiding and he was kind of doing lots of movements with the body. It's kind of like a togetherness, like, but I don't use object that way usually. It's more difficult for me.
Yeah. It's a research as well, because many people feel as uncomfortable using an object as using text, for example. Remember where we said some people feel very uncomfortable using text. So there is people who feels very uncomfortable using an object, because you give them an object, and then it's again that they consider that this is not dancing anymore, or if it's dancing with the object, it's a kind of acrobatical thing, because you can the object. For me, the object is not exactly the same as a prop, if you understand what I mean. This is not possible to express it in Spanish, but in English it's a very good that we have these two words. And for example, in circus, how do they say in English this when they are doing this?
Juggling? How is it?
See,
Something.
yeah, the juggling is the action.
They have this ball.
It's mazas, no balls, or these long things, looks like a stick or something like this.
Yeah.
But this is a prop, let's say, meaning that, I mean, it could be an object, because sometimes I have circus performers in our workshop, in physical on stage workshop, and then, for example, we have exercises with objects, and then they are curious about, so how can they make those props that they use always for equilibrium, for juggling, for making the audience, how can that become objects? Meaning that they give them a special life, a special meaning, without I mean, forgetting or putting apart the art of juggling or the art of equilibrium or whatever. Because this is what I mean. Circus, I think it's in a very strong research nowadays. So some people already is calling it new circus. The meaning that is not started from the aesthetical point of view. So, for example, Cirque du Soleil start changing a lot of traditions and rules from the circus, but only from the aesthetical point of view. But then I know that there is a lot of people, young people nowadays, trying to go a little bit further. So doing circus, but in connection then with physical theater, so with dramaturgias, there is a dramaturgia for circus as well, and then this is a very interesting thing that they are very used to objects. I mean, not all of them. In all circus, an elephant was an object, or a tiger, or a chihuahua. No? So this is maybe because in our modern mentality, mindset is less and less using animals on the stage for the purpose of making them a little bit suffer for enjoying people that is going to see them, somehow dealing with animals as if they were objects. So then the contemporary society cannot accept this maybe anymore. This is why you see less and less animal acts in circus. In some of them, there is not animal at all. Okay, so any question about this? About the objects and the text as an object?
No.
No. Okay. So let's check. Let's check. For example, if I have it right here. I will share my screen, and we are having a look to picture. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. So this was the original.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Remember?
Alright.
And then this is proposed.
Ooh. Wow.
Now what happened? I did it before.
I can still see it, the image.
You can see the image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I can also say it.
The whole image.
Not
Yes,
the
it's,
whole,
it's just,
but your
yes,
zoom.
it's, I cut it. I cut it.
Well, we don't know that. I mean, so yeah. So did you,
Sorry for telling the truth.
Exactly. So, but I did before a way to make it bigger, and now it's not working anymore. Maybe I should, because I am doing this with a tablet, and then this is a nightmare. No, it was like this, and nothing happened. My first question is: this is the way, the orientation that you want to see to show it to us? Because you put the picture in the body of the email. Can you send it as a attach?
Wait, let me check it because I have it. Wait, I have to choose on computer.
And then if it's an attach, we can download it, and then we can.
I don't know if it works. I do it again.
But then send it here, please. Send it to miseroprospero@gmail.com.
I didn't get it.
So instead of words, so it's miseroprospero.gmail.com.
Is it the one you sent us?
No, it's a new
Oh,
one. The only one I can open in the tablet.
It's the Misero Prospero project.
Prospero so arroba, so there's gmail.com. So this is
I don't know.
the one.
Is there any way I can send you? any other way, like I can send you also through Instagram. Wait, I try. I think it's the same if I do it this way or the other way.
This is Marika, and then okay, okay, yeah, got it.
Yes.
It's okay. No need.
Okay,
no
great.
Need.
Great.
Now you can see it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Malika, now is your turn. You maybe we can look for the original and put it in the other computer.
Yes,
So
I can open it on my phone maybe.
Yes. Can you have access to the Google Drive?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, okay, let's look for it.
Oh, 1 second.
Yeah,
I can't hear you, Lan.
Yeah.
Can you hear us, Ai?
Sorry.
Okay, I have it. Yeah, okay.
Yes, I have it too.
Okay, so now Malika and me, we are going, especially Malika, we are going to tell you.
Didn't hear you? Like,
He doesn't hear us.
Can you
no,
hear
I
us?
can hear. No, I can hear, but I lost the part when you talk with Malika about what she did or something.
But you can hear now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, I can
So
hear now.
Malika is going to tell you to talk about your decisions.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In comparison to the original picture. There is one very obvious, no?
Okay, so yes. Does it matter with what I start, or do I just talk?
You can talk. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So my first thought was that I have like the body, like the feeling I have about the body is kind of the same, of like how can I say this? Like the body form, but also how you put it, your feet, and the hands. It had something really like sensible in a way. That I would like ask you why you put it the body like this and not like that. That would be an observation for sure. But then,
You mean that in the original is an horizontal body, and in the photo is a vertical body?
Yes, thank you. Yes, that's what I meant. Yeah, and then also what I can also observe is that there's the similarity that, as in the original, you also have mirror effect. There you have a mirror, and in the original it's more I don't know how to say it in English, like a light reflection, so that you can see on the top of the water also, like that her own body reflects. Which is of course now a bit different, because also you're of course not underwater, which makes it, I guess, hard to reproduce that. Which is also interesting that you have in your picture that you made, I can see 3 times your feet. No, 1, 2, 3, 4 times even, because there are 3 reflections. And what else to say? Yeah, you chose a black pants, and on the picture the woman has like a white outfit, and also another colors on your t-shirt. Yeah, and on your picture there's also a frame which is not in the original.
And there is one thing which is a brutal decision.
The frame, you mean?
I cut it, right?
Exactly. So she cut the body. No, in the original we can see the whole body,
Uh-huh.
and in the Ai's version, she, let's say, took away the head and the upper part of the torso,
Yeah,
the breast, no?
yeah.
But from your point of view, you started with saying, of course, the aim of the exercise, that, as I asked it to you, this let's say version or reconstruction had the spirit somehow of the original. Then, Malika, from your point of view, she succeeded in this.
Yes, she like, yeah, because for me on the picture one big thing is the how I feel the body of the woman, and this feeling is quite similar that I get, maybe also because you have a your body type is has a quite same look for me on that. And also because you're upside, like the picture's upside down, there is this non-gravity aspect, which is also like then like on the water, like the feeling. So for me,
Yeah, it's very clever. So so these big decisions, meaning black outfit, vertical body, non-complete body, and yeah, there was those three big decisions helps or goes against the feeling of the original picture, from your point of view, Malika?
The clothing, I have to say, goes quite against to me, because also she wears a dress in the original one. And it would be interesting to see how it would look if your body would also be vertical, like how, like if we would just switch the picture around. Because yeah, this goes also against on when I think it in the perspective of how it literally looks on the picture. But from the feeling, it's the like fine for me, because of this gravity aspect that I just said. And what was the third one that you said?
The cutting.
The what?
The cutting.
The cutting.
We cannot see her head.
Yeah. This goes more against for me, because if it's cutted like this, there's always the question for me of what are you doing with your head, or like what is happening down there. Yeah.
And can you understand why she did it?
Yeah, I think, did you do a headstand?
No.
I am sorry. I will stop sharing it because I need to see your. So you had the memory?
What? Sorry?
You have the memory of the picture?
Yes, I do. I do.
Because I need to see your faces. And I cannot see your faces. Okay. Okay, that's it. So, so then you were saying that you somehow understand why she did it.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm now wondering what you did with your head, but I can imagine that to have, because the head in the original picture is half underwater, half not, and the hair are just floating in the water, which gives like quite like peaceful sensation to me. And probably you would have had problems to just show not your face, but just the part of it. That's what I assume.
She told us she shouldn't. She shouldn't have told us, but she told us that she cut the photography. If I understood, did I understand properly?
Yeah.
Is there an original photography that is possible to see you completely?
Yeah, I cut it by me. Like it's a full one actually with head, and also I have like several versions. But in the end, I gave up the step, like the 3-1 I picked in the beginning, and I picked the one like I didn't think about it, like, you know, in the beginning. So this is the one like I did it yesterday, and I sent you like in the afternoon this one. So this is the final decision I made. But the original one is with the full body, like it's like the picture. It's like the original one with the whole body.
Can we see it?
I can show you from my phone. Are you sure you want to see it?
I didn't want to ask, but
Wait, I show you. I think I have one. I don't know if it's here. Wait. I have one. I have one like this. So it's
Whoa!
it's like this one. But if you see like this, the hair, because the hair doesn't go down, so it's not vertical like a jaw. If the hair is kind of like this, then it's kind of you shift. If you see like this, it's like this way. So.
But Marika, do you think it's closer this one or
Or I would love to see it on a big screen actually, because I didn't see it completely, but it gave me more impression that it's closer to the original.
send it. Send it. Misero Prospero. Gmail.
Wait.
Yeah.
I'll check if I have it here. I have it here. Wait, I send it. I need to open my email.
Because I understand what you mean.
Okay.
This is a typical dramaturgical decision that you know to reach. So to earn something, you must sacrifice another thing. This happens many times in dramaturgia. But then what you need to decide is the thing you sacrifice, does it worth? Do you understand what I mean? So here, in my opinion now is not 100% for sure, but I think this detail of the hair is not that strong as to see the cutted part. If you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
But if you send it to us, did you?
Yeah, I sent it. Okay. It's the same one. It's the same email I sent you. Now it's probably. I have the one, actually, I separate the, I have the other one, which is not with the mirror, but they don't have this kind of affection, so, but it's more close with the clothes. Did you receive it?
No. No. Ah, but you send it to the other email.
It's
Okay,
the one, it's the same one,
problem.
like I said.
I will.
I think I only have this one.
Forward. And let's continue. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. It will arrive now.
Mm-hmm. I think this one's different with the one, but this one's with
But I think it's quite okay, the hair. How did you do this?
The hair is quite okay. This
Well,
one, you see, this one is
not like in
different.
the
This one, yeah, this one is different. This is not the original one. This is the other one, but it's the one. I have it here, but shit. Okay, this is the one. I have to. It's different one. This one's different, but it's the one with like it's almost the same. It's just like the direction of the body is different. I sent you the wrong one.
okay.
This is a different one. This is the other one. So, you see, it's different because the direction of the feet is different. It's not attached.
You mean that we should see this horizontally?
No, this one is different. This one is different. If you look at the part on the leg, on the feet, it's not close to the mirror. Like I did the upside, my body towards outside. The one you saw, my body is towards inside of the mirror. So
yeah,
that's why you see
okay.
two bodies like together like this.
Okay.
But this one is like upside.
But it's still super cool.
Yes. In my opinion, this one is closer to the original.
Really?
Yeah, same. For me too.
I will stop sharing. Okay. You don't agree? I.
It is close, but it's not something like I want. I want something like from there. You know, if it's the task, you have to be close, and this one, of course.
Can you explain us these three polemical decisions?
You mean the one I sent, right? The
For
close.
example, for me, I will tell you from my point of view, from the most important to the less important. So the most important for me is the direction of the image. Why did you put it vertical?
It's the feeling of drop. It's like what Madhika said about gravity. It's also within. I was kind of like trying to find different, because I think I shared also with you last in last class, I felt like if I shift this picture also, the original one, it's going to be different. So I also did the same thing with the original picture I took. And then I saw this gravity if I put this way. It's from the detail from the leg, also from the hand, I think. Then I decided to do it like vertically.
And do you agree that it's a polemical decision? I mean, in comparison with the original.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, it's just the direction. It's also the gravity because the original one also have the gravity, but they have this kind of floating, falling from the water.
That's what I like. That's what I like, because, but it, you know, I think I can understand. So it's a very subtle, extremely subtle idea, because from the mind, from the intellectual, let's say, from the visuals, I am not that sure. Because from the visuals, if you see the original, the first thing that comes is an horizontal line. No, I mean, maybe not the first, but the second, the most impressive impression, let's say, is an horizontal line. But then when you did your version and you try to reproduce this feeling, in visuals, horizontal and vertical is giving very strong different feelings. And you could, this is the first thing I asked it to you, because you only could put the picture like this, but you keep you keep the verticality because this was in your dramaturgy, verticality. So now I ask you, but from the visuals, it's against the original feeling. But from what you are saying, this question about a gravity or the feeling of floating, then maybe not. Maybe you translate the floating in a different way because you did not have water.
It's the air.
Am I right?
Yeah. Yes, it's the falling. It's the falling. It's from the image you analyze, and this falling gives you like some kind of something. Also, I was also shocked when I saw because usually if you say vertical, you can see the detail of the feet. It's like you saw everything.
I understand perfectly. But another question. So, the audience, the average audience, what will see first, the visual or the idea?
I didn't get it. Which one?
So, the audience.
Visual, of course.
The visual.
Yeah.
And then you will have a part of the audience will stuck on the visual font. Some part of the audience will go farther and try to see, but yeah, it's vertical, but it has this feeling of floating, like in the original, no? But this is going to be the less, because one important thing about the audience is that normally they are lazy, not stupid, lazy. But because we are lazy, so the human being is lazy. So I never would say that the audience is stupid, not at all, never. Sometimes it's even smarter than us. But they are lazy in the sense that, and then in the real timing of a performance, Another question related with the time of the dramaturgy is the time you give the audience to get and to understand and to incorporate what you are doing. This is crucial because if you have a very sensitive, very subtle idea, you need to give the audience time, real time, to make them get it, because they will not get it at first sight. Let's go to the dress. Why you put trousers black and the original was a white dress?
So technical thing first, I don't have this white thing. I don't have this white dress.
So you will have something to say.
Like, yeah, this is something technically. But I didn't actually.
Problem of production.
But actually, I was thinking also between this color and also with this black, totally black. So actually, yes, I think Wednesday I was also trying to do this picture, but it's with like whole black, something very light, like silk things, but with black. But I've never. And yesterday I was thinking if I should use some color. Then I felt like, okay, I'll just go directly with this black because it's also from the image, this black.
Yeah. I thought it was again another Chinese idea. Sorry, excuse me if I say this. This subtlety, this I saw it in many Chinese films and in many, it's I can recognize it. Excuse me, maybe I'm completely wrong, but as a Chinese sensibility, But as far as you invert the black and white theme. So in the original picture, the background is gray dark, so it's going to black, and the dress is white. And you somehow invert this because of the background here is clear, and then to keep the contrast, the outfit of the woman must be black. But it's again something that you need to think about it, because the visuals, it's again, it's black, and in the original painting is white.
Yeah.
But it's a very interesting thing what we are saying. So you can learn a lot of things from this. Because it's what many times this happens. Conscience, unconscious. I mean, do you have 90% control or 10% control? So there is no, never is 100% control, and never is zero control. No? Then the cutting thing. So you cut the hair because you were afraid of the hair was not reproducing this movement in the water, no?
Actually, from this one, I checked the original one. So the hair is it's like I did something when they were taking the picture. I was doing like this, so it's kind of like it can be something like if you have this vision. But in the end, I cut it. It's also because I felt the feet and the hands is more expressive if I cut it. So I decided to cut it in the end because I want to kind of emphasize this part.
Again, it's the same. So yeah, I mean, this would be my conclusions, let's say. So in my opinion. Huh? So as a viewer, the decisions you took, don't deny the original inspiration, but don't help at first sight. If you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
It's a dramaturgy about subtlety. So meaning that the audience will need time and mental mind space in order to jump into it and to see how you are doing the suggestions and how you create this feeling of a contrast between the black and the white, even if it's inverted order, or the fluent thing, or how is the relativity in horizontal or vertical. Do you get my
Yeah.
point?
Yeah. I have a question. So I have a question about, because you were talking about the audience, like they have this image on their mind, right? So it's not like they don't know this image and I'm creating an image from here. So they actually know what I'm doing and where I get this image. Right?
Yeah.
That's why.
No, yeah. No. This is a more ambitious idea, which is that it is in a metaphorical way. Yeah. So it's that the audience always have an image about what you are doing, and this is somehow what you should guess it will happen. So when you are preparing your piece, you work as a one-eye person. So you are not completely blind, but you only can see with one eye. And then there are things that you can that you can imagine, and you know how they will work. And there are other things that you need to use your intuition and maybe your experience and maybe whatever to try to guess, especially what is the main image that will have the audience in their mind. Because this is the way to break it, to lead them, to correct it, to build something, to warn them, to stop and come back. All these strategies you will need to make them follow your line. Now I am talking about an abstract dramaturgy, not the picture. It's like with the picture example, it's like, yes, we gave the original picture to the audience. 3 minutes or 2 minutes before your performance starts. This is what happens always. Call it prejudice, but or prefixed image or something like this. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, I know that part, but the abstract dramaturgy, I didn't get it properly.
Because the next question is how strong you want it. Now I am coming back to the exercise. So how strong you want it to reproduce the original feeling. I.
Is this a question?
Yeah, it's the question.
Because it's a question I need to think about.
We are going to make a break now. So.
I have two things on my mind. It's like how much % images I want to represent. Like it's just kind of like a visually. And also how much percent feelings I want to represent. Because if I want to represent more about the visual, so probably I'll think about more about the visual instead of the visual, how this visual gives me this feeling. So it's like the second layer behind this visual. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes, yes. But in a good, in a, let's say, powerful dramaturgy, both are very, very straight connected. So, yes, we have layers, but we need to connect them all.
Yeah.
We need to connect them all. Let's make a break. Let's make a break. 20 minutes is okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Then we will come back with Malika's picture.
Yes.
There is no more people. So.
Okay.
Okay.
Welcome.
See you in a bit. Bye bye.
Bueno. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, are you cold?
Yes, a bit. I'm a bit sleepy, but yeah. Ooh.
Well, let's see the pop show. Let's talk about bed. I am not sure if it's a good idea now to talk about. Are you sleepy? Maybe.
No. No. I'm still concentrated. I'm good.
So I send it to you to your email, and then maybe I open in my computer. I have it both now, the original and Malika's. If you can do this.
Yes, I saw.
Then it's perfect because this sharing thing with the, you know, I didn't know that because in the PC, when I am sharing something, I still can see the faces of the participants, but here in the tablet I cannot. It's very important.
Technically.
Yes. So we didn't talk about the original, so let's talk about the original first a little bit, just a little bit. So the question is, what is the feeling from Malika's point of view? So why did you choose this one? And what's the feeling that you think is giving to us?
So why I chose this one is actually just, it was quite out of practical reasons. Like I thought it's maybe the easiest one, I have to say. And I did it today. So it's nothing super artistical. But the feeling of the picture, it gives me quite, how can I say, not like necessarily hotel room vibes, but like a bit unpersonal in a way, because it's so like you see next to the beds these two things, and you just only have the clock on one, but otherwise it's super like clean. There's no personal stuff whatsoever. Also the like the whole bed, like that you have, for example, at the end of the bed, this brown wood next to the wall, which makes me think that it's like, I don't know, I have this association to like older middle-aged couple, upper class, magazine kind of thing. Like, I don't know, it gives me already the feeling also how the bed is, that it's in some like Europe, like more like Northern European country, or like, yeah, I don't know.
And IKEA country.
IKEA country, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And you, so nothing is easy, huh? So, I mean, from the practical point of view, sure, that there are images here very crazy to do in a practical way, but here there are some challenges as well. Tell me a feeling that if there is one. So is it, you said no personal, so it's very kind of, but is there a feeling of maybe this coldness or anything else?
One moment. I'm also opening it again. I was just also talking from my memory. Okay, now I have it. I mean, because the bed is used, so it is not only cold, because I can see people slept in there.
Mhm.
And I also assume maybe 2 people, because they have like, everything is so divided into 2. Like you have 2 pillows, or 4, but then also like these 2 things on the side. So and feeling wise, it gives me a morning feeling somehow, maybe because also of the light.
Mhm.
And a bit of coziness, but still a bit, cozy, but but in still like, so, I don't know, it's hard to describe. Yeah, like super normative in a way. I don't know, like like how you would imagine, like, like an advertisement.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
meaning that, for example, this untidiness doesn't look real,
Yeah.
does it? No, it's like sounds like a composition
Yeah.
a little bit, no?
Yeah.
So yeah, supposedly 2 people were there, they left. So for me, well, tell us your impressions.
Yeah.
Your impressions about
Ah,
your.
the original one, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I felt something like very. It's the feeling like it's like a contract. You see, everything's very like clean. Not only the color, it's also the for example, those 2 chairs on the side. Also, this one clock. It's very like sharp, like clean, like nothing extra. And which
Alice, you mean?
it's simplicity. It's like the simplicity. But it's the cleanness. It's also the vision gives you this kind of very cold, like for example, this cleanness, this simplicity from those 2 chairs.
Mm-hmm.
But the bed is it's upside. The bed is upside from this, So there is a contract for me.
A contract.
Yeah, it's a contract. Contradiction. It's like
I
contradict. Sorry, it's not a contract.
No, it might be interesting, huh? A contract. I mean, the people who is sleeping in this bed, uh, mm, so have a kind of good relationship, mm, meaning meaning that meaning that it's not that I saw beds that for two people
Mhm.
that the two are much more separated, let's say, or much
Ah.
more uh, divided the space, no, between
Mhm.
between. But here it's true that the two little tables could give us information about each one of them. The one occupies the left and the right side. In our left side there's the clock, but in the other table there is nothing at all. So we cannot imagine who or what kind of people. You said middle-aged bourgeois, no? Something
Yeah.
like this, but I mean, it could be young, very, very modern people. How to say this, Stefan? Ah, these people with a bird.
Stylish? Oh, no.
No, this cool.
Hipster?
Sorry?
Hipster?
See, a couple of hipsters, yes, can can sleep here, or this modern, high class, modern young people that maybe they are advocates or business or startuppers or entrepreneurs. But anyway, do you want to add any other thing?
Mm, no. I also saw the light, so it's obvious which side is the window. Or it's also like fuck, sorry. It's like it can be also the outside, if you say the light.
In a terrace.
Yeah, it's kind of like it can be like also in the outside, without not inside the room, but outside.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So,
I would buy that. Yes. I agree. I mean, it's quite well done in the sense that mm, we all agree that it's a kind of advertisement, meaning that
Mhm.
it's not a real picture after two real people sleeping 8 hours during the night and then they left in the morning. But it's kind of well done in the sense that we can believe that, no? So this, for example, could be a dramaturgy of a very detailed reconstruction of reality, or giving the intention of reality, but in this minimalistic touch is not something that puts us against realistic thing, because if we had wanted to go till the last consequence of being realistic, then the two little tables should have much more personality. For example, I don't know, books, glasses, maybe an ashtray, or maybe a Jack Daniels whiskey bottle on it, or whatever. So then, depending on what we are putting there, so then everything is changing completely. No? So okay, let's check the Malika's version. And Malika, now let I uh, take some conclusions.
So follow the same routine as what I think it's first of all it's the upside. I felt the upside from what I saw, like the falling. I mean, So to separate, actually, the one from the original one, it's combined, right? It's like the same, but here it's kind of, they were together, but they were separate.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So this is the part.
Yeah. Yeah, for example, in this one, I can imagine two people, so not that communicated, let's say. I am.
Yeah.
But for sure, it was a practical thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it also has this kind of possibility. So it's like two totally different couple, like, you know, like relationship intimacy. I mean,
You feel it.
So-
You feel it's different.
yeah, I felt different. Only just like this line in between. It's like so
Mhm.
obvious. Like, you know.
Not only because of this line. Huh? So what is the main difference?
The main difference, I think also the pillow.
Yes, it's about the whole,
The color.
the color, the lighting.
Yes, sorry. And this one's not for.
It's much
And
more real.
also, yeah, exactly. Also, if you say the detail, like in the end of the blanket, that's why it's more like natural, like it's obvious, like, but I probably kind of like did something, you know, in the end. But the one we saw from the original one, the end is like still like, you know, it's like you have two parts of the bed. On the bottom, it's more like tidy. Like everything's more like what we saw in the side. It's kind of like the same feeling I had with those two tables, like you were talking about. But in the up part of the bed, it's more like a bit mess. So something like the pillow also. I don't know. That's what I saw from here. But quite similar. Like it looks quite similar, but it felt different.
Mm.
This is good good way to say when you know here we can use so take some juice here from what is offering reality to the audience and the strategies and somehow the last feeling. Remember when we say that we are lying all the time, so we are building a kind of reality which is it's real on stage. So this is the problem when we talk about reality. So it's not that it's not real, you see, because if it's there on the stage, then it's real. But
Mm-hmm.
but the point is that the audience makes the connection with their own reality, meaning that everybody has this morning feeling, no? And the people who is in a couple or people who's living alone goes and wakes up and goes to the bathroom in the morning, and then they left the bed in a way, no? So in a way that it gives a feeling that somebody alive was there for hours. Somehow. There is another difference, which is important as well in both of them. Can you see it? It's about the angle of the camera.
Mm.
So in the IKEA feeling, it's from absolutely vertical, so it's zenithal, from up. In Malika is a little bit from the point of view of the light. And in Malika doesn't show the two little tables.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So we cannot see the table with the clock. we can see the empty table.
Mhm.
Now, the next question for now for Malika is, what is this on purpose, or that you were looking for an effect?
No, I
Thanks for your
Honest.
no, because I mean, this is my bed here in Sweden. It doesn't
In
look that
Sweden.
IKEA, but yeah, on my left side there's like a picture hanging, and there are lights hanging, and I also didn't have another table. So yeah, like on my left side there would come in a lot of personal stuff that wouldn't be fitting into the picture.
But when you were organizing things,
Yeah.
so what was in your mind? To reproduce the forms from the original, or to give an opinion?
No, I try to stick to the original, but knowing also that I would cut off the picture, like that I wouldn't have, for example, the two tables. And like when it comes to the perspective, I couldn't go as above as in this picture, just because of practical reasons. And then also, yeah, because it looks like in this picture they were really like having a camera hanging on the ceiling, kind of, or they would go pretty far up, but like this was hard to realize. So I was just standing on a chair in front of my bed.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy to do this without some tools.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. But anyway, would you agree that, conscious or not, all your decisions help or went against the original?
In general, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I need to see both again. Also mime. Definitely, I agree what you said, that it gives a complete different feeling of like who you imagine was there, or that like this, the IKEA one looks more like an advertisement, and this like mine doesn't look like an advertisement. This is an aspect, and also now that I said that with the light, I also feel like it makes a huge difference that in the original the light comes from like behind.
The lights of the original are studio.
Yeah.
Are light from a studio.
Yeah.
So this is absolutely clear, meaning that it's again an advertisement, lighting.
Yeah. Yeah. So
You did what they wanted to communicate. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
You succeeded in communicate the idea they wanted to communicate. But this is tricky. It's tricky because advertisement is never real. And they don't want to be real. So it's always trying to reproduce idealistic, utopical worlds. That's why it's so cold, let's say, because they in the original they are selling one idea, and you are giving this idea, but not from the selling point of view, but from the most realistic approach I can imagine. From this, even because when we copy, let's say, there are two attitudes. One is the reproducing attitude, which means copy, and the other is the paraphrasis. The paraphrasis is when we copy but giving an opinion meaning that in the fact of copying, we are doing things that we say that we accept or deny or go with the original or not. For example, even if it's not conscious, your purpose, without knowing that, I could feel that you made you critic. If we accept that this is IKEA, I don't know if it's IKEA, whatever, furniture business company, you criticize the original with your putting on the stage, meaning you are giving a false, a fake feeling of homey or I don't know, and I am giving a kind of most proper one.
Yeah.
Even, I mean, this was not your purpose.
Yeah.
Maybe, but this is what, like, we shouldn't know that this is what we get when we see the picture, and this is something that when we go to the analysis of the audience relationship with our work, this is happening all the time. That's why I one of my aim with the workshop, let's say, it's try to make you conscious about that all the decisions, that to have the maximum control possible on all the decisions, because if you don't have the total control of your decisions, two things can happen. One is that people don't get what you want because maybe you don't know what you want or something like this, but mainly they get their own conclusions. Because everything, again, I say it again, so everything has a meaning and communicates something. So the zero communication is impossible.
Yeah.
So then, when somebody is going to see a performance, he or she, or then they, if we consider the audience, will get something. This that they will get can be from 1 to 10, more or less close to the dramaturgical intention of the people who did it. Then we say that 9, 8, 9, 10 would be that you succeed in communicating what you was working to communicate, or 1, 0, 1, 2, you did not succeed in communicating what you wanted to communicate. Let me ask you, if you consider the audience like a group of individuals or a mass.
It's weird. My first thought, of course, was like, of course, it's a group of individuals. But then how I perceive it when I'm on stage, for example, is like this one impression of, okay, this time the audience was really attentive, or this time the audience was really like chaotic in a sense. There was quite some noise and movement. So then it's more like a mass. But then when, for example, I would perform and like get feedback, it depends on how the dramaturgy, how good maybe the dramaturgy was, of like how different the opinions are about it. not opinions, but like what people saw and how they felt. I think it can really depend from piece to piece, how similar it is or not.
What do you think?
I didn't get the question about the audience, the individual.
So if you consider them a group of individuals or a mass,
group of, I think it's a group of individuals.
why?
It reminds me that following the gap, probably some of them are the same, but mostly they have different. For example, they see different parts, like different parts impress them. So it's like they have their own experience, like personalities. So everyone actually came here, even they were watching the same thing, but they got different things and they have different thinking. So it's like very individual and also very like I lost the word. Personal. Yeah, it's like something like a very personal, like the feeling. For example, me as an audience, like I have my own feeling towards the thing I'm watching, like with someone else.
Okay. Would you agree that people, when they belong to a big group of people temporarily, they change their behavior?
Yeah, they are. Of course,
Change what?
Their behavior.
Oh.
So
yeah, it's a group.
They can lose their individuality. It's a question.
Yeah, I think that's very capitalism, this part, about all those commercial things.
So following this line, this could depend not only but mainly in how many people are in the audience. So, for example, in a little audience, say an audience of 40 people or 50 people, the individualities of each one of them can survive or can be there more present than when you are in front of 2,000 people or 3,000 people. But then maybe the laws of the mass are working stronger when there is much more people in front of us, or in the audience. Would you agree, Dee?
I agree, but also somehow I like thinking more about it. I would still think about individuals, especially because in a theater setting, they are not talking to each other. So it's not like that people get convinced because of good arguments, but it's really like everyone has their own like experience. And normally it's also like relatively quiet. So like it's still like they sit with themselves in a way.
You touched the bone, Malika, when you said that it depends on us, on our dramaturgy, meaning that maybe the most serious dramaturgical decision is how we are going to consider the audience. And between these 2 points, meaning a mass or individual gathering a space together, there are some gray moment, because it belongs to the main definition of each different type of dramaturgy, how they are considering the audience. You know that in text-based theater, for example, there is a big cut. There is a big change of strategy during centuries. They call it the dramaturgy, the Aristotelian dramaturgy.
Mhm.
And then Bertolt Brecht make a cut, and then the Brechtian or the epic dramaturgy. So this mainly means that one type, the first type, the Aristotelian dramaturgy, is the one of the illusion. So once the individuality disappear completely and become a mass who forget as much as possible real life to jump into the fiction as strong and as inside as possible. So then this dramaturgy has an architecture, so has a way to organize the space, which is put all the audience together as close each other as possible in the darkness with a certain distance from the stage with a concrete angle, and then working with the fourth wall, meaning that the imaginary wall that is the curtain, so which is this invisible wall that is between the audience and the performer, becomes a kind of little hole for a voyeur, that the audience feels like they are into the room of a couple or into the whatever, but always like privileged spectators, because they can see that something that in reality it's impossible to see. If there is I don't know, a fight in the forest, a real fight in the forest wouldn't be possible to be visible in the same way as we put on the stage a forest and two people fighting on the forest.
Yeah.
Then this is a privileged situation. But then the answer for this dramaturgy, the answer from Brecht, was like putting the people in completely different spaces, making the relationship between viewers and performers, cutting this feeling of mass and make them individual, putting them very close to the actors, for example, that they can see them sweating and breathing and spitting while they are trying to pronounce wonderful the words. The lighting as well, so maybe the audience can see each other. So this, in order to break the illusion. So the target of this was breaking the illusion. So making people aware all the time that they are in front of a fiction, that what they are seeing is theater or you know, a build, something built.
Making them aware of that
They are seeing theater, that what they are seeing theater. So it's nothing connected to reality, maybe. Why this? Because from Brecht's point of view, the Aristotelian dramaturgy don't let people think. They only let them feel.
And how was it in the Aristotelian theater, like theory or theater? How would the audience be structured, or like what was? Because now you said in the Brechtian theater you have this. It's black. Everyone sits close to each other.
No, Aristotelian.
Aristotelian, okay. And the Brecht one?
Brecht is like breaking this teatro alla italiana all the time, and then trying the circle, trying the all the different ways to break the classical relationship between the audience.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
because the Aristotelian intention is that you disappear as a person when you are viewing a play, watching a play, and you join the others, and you cry when they want you to cry, and you love when they want you to love, and you clap when they want. And this is dramaturgy as well. So, for example, comedians knows very well that make people laugh is a question of rhythm, and this question of rhythm has a lot to do about how well led is the audience as a whole. Because if not, is what I said. If in a comedy there is nothing that I can't imagine much more difficult than humor, because every person has one. So then in an audience full of individualities, this laughing thing would be very weird. Sometimes this one, and this one will laugh. The other time, nobody will laugh. The other time, yeah. So then this is not good. Let's say from the people who is making theater of the illusion, because mainly this is theater of the emotion. Because if you are enjoying in this way the play, so you are into the play, living the play, you are not thinking. You are not critic.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's why, I mean, this was the basement of Brecht, who was a Marxist and materialist, so wanted to do theater for make people think, let's say, and then thought, how can we break this illusion and then make people be aware and decide and have an opinion about what they are looking at. The question is that nowadays, these two big models are mixed. And many of the Brechtian tricks to make people break the illusion are not working anymore. For example, the first time that the audience saw the lights on the stage was in a Brechtian play. Because this is, I mean, it's obvious that if you want to keep an illusion, you cannot show the audience how you are doing the things. It's like a magician. If you want to make people believe what the magician makes disappear the bird, then it comes to my mind the English word. So then you cannot show them how you are doing it, because then the illusion is broken. So then one thing that the classical dramaturgy is doing is hiding all the time the lamps, the lighting, and there are special frames to hide them, and then you see the stage lighted, but you don't see where the light is coming from. Then it could be believable that the light is coming from a window from the daylight. No, you can make this kind of a. But then if you show all the lamps, so then people were very angry and very shocked the first time they saw this, because then they didn't understood why they thought it was a kind of non-professional theater that is showing, but nowadays this is absolutely normal in a lot of spaces
Mm.
that you can see all the lighting stuff up there.
Mhm.
But that's why it's not working anymore, because then people is used to it, and then you come into the venue, you sit down, you are not. I mean, you start the performance, and me that I am a little bit sick, but I am a stage director. Sometimes I'm looking how is going on the lighting up there, but nobody else. So people is focused on what's going on the stage. No? So,
Mm.
nothing really.
Mhm.
And a lot of things. Like, I mean, now we are using projections and and alive music. These kind of things were in the past breaking the illusion.
Mm. Interesting. Yeah.
And it was I was saying that you be aware that now is everything's mixed. So this question about how do you want in your piece, there's a Malika, you were right again when you said that it depends on the piece, because it depends on the dramaturgy, meaning that it depends on the piece. If we follow the line that every piece asks for a special, unique dramaturgy.
Mm.
So then you should ask yourselves how you are going to consider and to treat the audience. What kind of audience do you want? What kind of relationship do you want with the audience?
Yeah.
And then this is connected with decisions that I mentioned before. They were important, like time and space. So deciding time and space is absolutely connected with the audition. What do you think about this? Do you think do you think in people when you are preparing a performance,
If we think
or you
of the
only
people,
yes, I mean in people who is going to see it, or you are only thinking on yourself?
I started thinking about the people last year because I made like the second performance I ever kind of made, and with a friend, and we had like a dramaturgical support. So she was asking us all the question, and it was really super hard because first of all, normally I'd only dance. So to also choreograph is like a whole new area, but then also to have like six eyes kind of. So you're inside as a dancer, you're choreographing, and then you also think of how the audience perceive it. It's really a lot. And especially it's funny because you can put meaning in objects or things and like what you associate with them, but you never, then if you watch it from outside, there's always this possibility, of course, that it gets perceived so differently. So this is so, yeah, it's just, I think it's a really fucking hard job. Like, yeah.
Nobody said it was easy.
What?
Nobody said it's been easy.
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
Do you think when in your creations, do you think in people?
You mean about the audience?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
It's
much
fantastic.
actually.
The fact that you are thinking about it, it's like, come on. Are you very tired, maybe?
No, I thought I was like kind of jumping in and jump out my mind. I thought it's I don't put them when I was creating the things, but when I was, for example, during the process, for example, like we did a rehearsal yesterday, like about the piece I'm trying to do like next month. So when I was doing it, I have this vision from the outside, like from the audience part. So then I start to like kind of like it's in between. It's like, but I don't put them like in a first position. I don't think them and then I make this piece. But while I'm making this piece, I have this feeling like how I can like how the audience picture this. So and then I adjust and then I continue, I develop it. So it's
Okay.
kind of like always together.
My conclusion would be that for the whole team, it should be an obsession during the whole process. It's very easy to forget them. It's very, very easy because we enjoy, so, or the director, choreographer, or the team has a brutal ego, or we enjoy a lot what we are doing. Then it's very easy to get closed in our world, in our creation, and forget that the obvious thing, which is that we are doing this for making other people enjoy, think, love, cry, feel, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But the final product is not for us, it's for other people. And other people that in a company that somehow, well, this is another thing, but if you you have your earning from your performances more or less or somehow, you will travel, you will try that as maximum as people watches your piece, meaning that different ages, different sexes, different mindsets, different cultures, and your aim is arrive to the maximum as possible of them.
Mm-hmm.
This is why dramaturgy exists. So dramaturgy would has no sense if there is no audience. Then the performing art would be something completely different. Would be a kind of cathartic masturbation or orgia, self-orgiastical ritual. But many, I rarely get angry as a spectator. Only when I see this. So the only thing that makes me angry is when I realize that the hell they care about me. And I can like it or dislike it, or I can agree or disagree, or I can feel closer to the idea or totally out, whatever. But I must feel that they did it for me and for the woman I have behind me and for the girl on the other corner and for all of us. If I realize, and many times you can see this in cinema as well, I can tell you, well, no, I will not. But anyway, I think it's very easy to see that the director gives a shit about the people who is looking at the film. They think they are genius, or they think that they are the best directors in the world. Maybe they are, but this is not fair. Why people buy tickets? They when they come to see one of my plays, they don't buy the ticket to make me happy or to tell me how they like my way of thinking. They buy the ticket. Yeah.
I also wanted to ask you, I don't know if you remember that I said in the last session, because this is the last session today, right? If you want to share what you, maybe what you find fascinating or about dramaturgy, or like what you like so much about the work.
That every project is like starting again. And working with different people, so that you need a resilience, a flexibility, a lateral thought, that you need to be very creative, because there are no rules that somehow tells you what to do, and some recipes that you know that if I am doing this and this and this, I will succeed. It's a kind of adventure. So it's the anti-boring thing.
Anti what?
Anti-boring.
Yes.
I cannot imagine another work like is, you know, I wouldn't say that you start from zero, because you don't start from zero. But it's like, you know, every project needs new frames, new rules, new ways of communicating with people. So this is very exciting.
Yeah. No.
Why are you interested in dramaturgy?
Because I think that I had like pretty much the last years, I just danced because of my enjoyment, because I just love to dance. But then also at one point there came the question, because then I started working with choreographers, and I learned a lot over myself and my body, but it was also quite exhausting, and really also not having like kind of the ownership over your dance, and the body just as a tool for someone else. And so I just started thinking, because in my head I can dance, I can visualize my dance super good, or I can see dance in my head and stuff like this, but like to have a dramaturgy, to have a story, and to have the whole, how would I put my dance on stage, or dance in general? All these questions came. I'm just interested in like, what can I do with the body language?
It would be useful for you, obviously, if you plan to create things, create a piece, but as well to communicate better with the people who theoretically have the responsibility of the dramaturgy of the play, so with the director, the choreographer, the dramaturg. So you would be more empowered or open, in a comfortable way to communicate with them as a performer, if they are open to that, of course. I mean.
Yeah, they weren't that open, I would say. Like,
I mean, this this workshop and my lectures and the book. I am about to publish a book and blah blah blah.
Oh,
So
nice.
it's for performers and for choreographers and for directors as well. So, you know, I think that it came the time of stage director dictatorship. We already had that time, but now we are in a different moment. And I think that this is over. There are one or two elephants that still behave like this, but more and more the young people and the new companies are in a completely different way of thinking and working.
Yeah.
Do you want to say something?
I think for me, like, let's talk about this dramaturge. For me, it's like I can organize what I have learned from the past. It's also like it's like you have your own research, but you didn't know what's going on, like outside of your research. Probably someone is also doing the same, or it's already something like very settled. And then, like, also from here, what you learn, like from based on your experiences. And then from the dramaturgy class, from these 4 sessions, I have this kind of like, you have like separate thing, you can zoom in and you get analyzed, and it's kind of like you have more perspective towards, for example, like I will not analyze why I'm using this orange. I will not analyze why I put this chair there just for like, I did it because from intuition, from my falling, I felt I want to do this, and I felt to build this space, and I believed something like, you know, it's more like intuition thing. But from here, we'll analyze, you know, it's like something like more analyze. I mean, not only from how you felt, like something like this.
But it depends as well on the team. So if you work alone or with somebody that you have a very good understanding or whatever, or if you work with more and more people, then you need some tools to communicate them and to let them communicate with you. There is absolutely, there is an intuitive dramaturgical in every artist. Absolutely. But this is like when a painter said that, was like Picasso. I think Picasso said that you must learn the rules very well to forget them.
Yeah.
And then when you are dealing with time, space, objects, text, blah blah, and then you analyze them, but sometimes you make decisions without analyzing them. But you have already trained yourself somehow. Some things that allow you to make these decisions. But it's a lot as well depending on the people who is with you.
Yeah.
Because many people works alone, and then they don't have to. They only have to explain to themselves. Let's say, no. So they communicate to themselves, but they don't have to explain ideas, feelings, opinions, whatever, to other people that is helping to build the performance. No?
I have a question actually from here. So it's also recently I was working with I'm making a group piece, like 2 or 3, like a small group. So it's also like from the experiences I had, I was working with dancers. Because in the beginning, if you give them tools as a choreographer, also like also sometimes probably it's kind of connected also with the dramaturge thing, but I didn't realize it was dramaturge. And you were trying to, because you have this kind of thing, you have this like everything, it's like what we said before, like during the rehearsal, you will not explain everything, like explain what is the perspective, why I'm doing this. It's kind of like I want the dancers to try because I saw what is going to happen. And then from the dancers, it's going to build up, like there is something new going to happen. But for the dancers and for the performer who are working with you, like how you can, it's kind of like a trust, how you can make them to trust you from like what you were doing. You know, it's like to follow, you know, it's like something also, because it's so easy to get to be like very boring. Like they feel like what we're doing, like I put the object, but I told them like, okay, this object, just ignore it, don't use it. So they were kind of like, so why put it, you know, something like this.
This is a very difficult question. So you are asking where the charisma and the energy and the capacity of seduce from the director is coming from. Who, I don't know. I really don't know. So you mean to make people respect you and somehow listen to you, because this would be the first step, no? That people can listen to you, is to point and to focus in things that they are worried about. So and the attitude of you listen to them is very important. This is breaking many walls, because when you start a production that is close to commercial, and then you didn't gather the people, or the people didn't know you, or whatever, there is always the first rehearsals is about creating a kind of working atmosphere. And then they will respect that. And I think the hierarchy, it's always about decisions in the last moment. So if they were not an opening date, we wouldn't need decisions. We would be in a permanent research. And for research, it's the pleasure of research, so we don't need to fix things. It's only when we are preparing a play or a performance because we need to show it, and because we are going to sell it, and blah blah blah, and here and there, and we'll go to this festival or whatever, that it must be somehow finished. And then there is the time of making some decisions. This is because people sometimes people tell me that a theater is not a democracy. It is not. It is not in the sense that after X time sharing experiences and giving inputs and receiving feedback and input and blah, blah, there is one moment to start making these decisions. And these decisions, normally, it's one or two people taking them. But if it's well done, it's not because they wake up one day with a light in their brain. It's because of a rehearsal process. It's because of what the performers gave and felt and see. So these decisions must be in connection with what is going on. But because if not, then is when you have conflict with the performer. So it's a love story. You must let them fall in love with you. Yeah, somehow it's like that.
Yeah, it's a bit exhausting. You have to let people like fall in love with you, you know.
Yes, and because of ideas.
In a way.
The way of you suggest things, the way you are sharing, and the way that you are
exactly
consequent.
Exactly.
Then everything is going to work very well.
Exactly.
So thank you very, very much for your energy, your ideas, your creativity. One thing I will tell you is that there is one or two people from other groups that feels like jumping into 4 more sessions. If you want this, please write me, and then we try to organize it. So we try to put everybody together because so they cannot jump into the new groups because logically, so
Yeah.
Mhm.
we can continue. So thank you very much, and I will send you as well. If you feel like meeting in Portugal during the spring or the summertime
Mhm.
and trying to put these things in practice.
Oh, yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
send us the things. Thank you so much. It was really nice. I learned a lot. And the atmosphere was really nice. Like I felt.
Thank you. I'm
Yes.
happy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you. You
You
too.
too.
Bye
Bye.
bye. Bye.